Hello, Hannah the Suburban Witch here, and today we are doing an unboxing of the Tarot of the Sorceress. In this video, I will be looking at the packaging that it comes in, the overall vibe of the deck, the cardstock quality, and the guidebook as well. You'll get a glimpse at what some of the cards look like and an overall vibe on whether I recommend it or not. If you want a full review video, you're going to have to wait until I've played with it for a bit. If you're new to my channel, I'm Hannah the Suburban Witch, a professional tarot reader and astrologer, and I love bringing you all of my fun witchy content here on YouTube. Please hit subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Alright, so this is a pretty eye-catching deck. I love the black gold vibe. It's really cool. It's got a little like metal clasp. It's kind of like opening a book is what it feels like. This would sit really nicely on my shelf, but it does kind of fall open if you tip it up the wrong way, so not one that's safe to put in your bag. All right, here we go. Oh, automatically, I mean, look at that. Look at that. We've got some beautiful gold edging on these cards. Size-wise, they're not too... Size-wise, it's slightly larger than your average deck. I can't really hold it in one hand. That's going to be tough. Guidebook is a nice size. It's not too big. And it looks pretty in depth with some nice colored images. And I say color, but really what I mean is black, white, and gold. Okay, back of the cards. I mean, you can tell they're quite shiny, but they are also reversible. So that's a positive. So aside from being like super shiny, these cards seem to be sketches with hints of gold detailing. Here's a really great example showing the Emperor. I'm liking it. I'm liking the vibes. With the Major Arcana, they all have a little scroll down at the bottom which says the name of the card, except for Death. And I don't know if that was intentional to leave off the word Death or if it was a misprint. I stand corrected. I've checked the guidebook, and it is called The Card That Has No Name. And in looking at the guidebook, it looks like each of the cards are represented by either a season or a Sabbath. The Death card they've called Samhain, and the keywords are brutal transformation, elimination, and mourning. This card, sometimes also called Death, is the fruit not of an external entity but of your own thinking, your own thread of life decisions. So, cool decision to do that. I think that's interesting. I like it. Swords are simply called air, ace of air. Cups are simply water. Wands is fire, and this is where I'm getting some weird vibe. This is 4 of Wands, and we have the moon phases. Why is that 4 of Wands? Why has the artist chosen that? I've read what they've written in the guidebook, and I don't think I vibe with it. It says 4 of fire, last crescent moon. The waning moon, particularly the last crescent moon, is a good time to start a transformation. Like the moon, nothing is permanent. Your life is constantly subject to change. I think artistic license is great. It just doesn't vibe for me, that particular card. And I'm kind of getting that vibe with some of the illustrations. They're interesting, they're well done, but I'm not always understanding why they've been chosen that way. This may be illuminated after using it, but I don't like cards where I can't intuitively just like get to the crux of it, or if it veers too far from the traditional meaning of the tarot. If you call yourself a tarot deck, you know. And I'm sure you can guess, Pentacles is Earth. The images feel simplistic and they're lacking some of the common symbolism, but this is also a themed deck around the wheel of the year and the Sabbats and the seasons and pagan spirituality. So I understand that they've changed a few things because of that, which is fine. So I think it's going to be interesting to actually work with it and use it and see how it all shows up. Now for the shuffle test. They seem to shuffle all right. I am stretching my hand to reach the full length of those cards. Like it's not super comfortable, but I don't have to switch to a vertical shuffle. This is okay. The cardstock feels pretty sturdy. It doesn't feel flimsy. Maybe slightly stiff, but they're not sticky. They actually flow really well together. It spreads okay. Like, it's not too bad. I think I'm spoiled with my handy dandy trusty Rider-Waite-Smith and a few of my other decks that are very similar to this sort of style cardstock. My Thoth Tarot. Like, can we just stick to that, please? I know it's not so fancy, but just feels better in my hands. All right, things I like. I love the gold edging. I like the color scheme theme, although I do think when it comes to reading, colors can tell us a lot. So removing that removes some of that as well, some of that magic. In terms of the artwork, I think it's done really cool. Like, I like the way it's drawn, but the symbolism, some of the symbolism is lacking or confusing at first glance. So I'm going to have to really dive into it a little bit more. So stay tuned for my review. Cardstock is okay. I would say 7.5 out of 10 would be my little rating for it so far. Could be better, but I've seen way worse. Tell me what you thought of the Tarot of the Sorceress. Was this an interesting deck to you? Has it piqued your interest? You want to see more? Let me know in the comments. If you ever want to know what a reading is like with me or how I interpret some of the cards, sign up for my newsletter, because once a month I do provide tarot guidance, and I'll pick a card from one of my myriad of my tarot decks and I'll dive right into it. There'll usually be 3 cards there that you can choose from. It's good fun, and you get to see a little example of how that can kind of come out in a real reading. As always, I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world today, and I will chat with you next time.